What's going on, guys? This is the Red Rogue, and today I have a guide for an easy way to save yourself some time and headache when you're trying to farm a lot of those rare spawn mounts throughout the game. While this won't work on all of them directly, there's a couple tricks to make it work on all of them, and I'll be sure to tell you which ones this does and doesn't directly apply to. This is what I ended up doing to get at least 10 of the rare world drop mounts in the game, though it seems Blizzard is starting to catch on and has stopped this trick from working on a few of those that I was able to get prior. If you end up liking the video, maybe you should check out some of my other stuff. I upload a new video every weekday at 6 AM Pacific time. Anyways, before we dive deep into this cheesy trick, I just want to apologize to any RP Realm folks out there in advance. Blizzard should probably not allow this to be possible. However, for everyone on PvE or PvP realms, the fact that we're all sharded together with cross-realm zoning makes this the reason why this needs to happen. But I mean, really, can you blame a rogue for bending the rules a little? I think not. Now that my conscience has been relieved, we can talk about rare mounts. There are tons of rare mounts out of world content related rare spawns, world bosses, or special interactions you can do. Due to cross-realm and sharding of most realms of the same type together, even if you play on a lower population server, you'll often run into people from realms that aren't connected to your own, especially in open world areas due to sharding. Sharding is basically where the game will determine when a certain instance of a zone has too many people, and will split them into separate versions of the same area, with each having their own spawns of every mob. Due to this, a lot of folks have found a workaround to being stuck contending with literally every PvE and PvP realm due to shards, and that workaround is RP realms. RP realms are kept separate from all other realm types in WoW, meaning they only interact with players of their own realm or their own individually directly connected realms, unless you use Group Finder to join a group with other players from other realms, of course, but yeah. Due to this, there are several realms that are still relatively low population, and don't have the dozens of other realms cross-realmed into their own content, meaning rare spawns aren't immediately tapped the second they spawn, so avid mount collectors, toy collectors, beast mastery hunters looking for exotic tames actually have a chance to find some of them. So now we will see the sneaky boy tactic to this. Making class trials on lower population RP realms and using them to find mounts, toys, whatever you're trying to find. Unless, of course, you're already on one of those realms with a moderately geared character, then this won't do much for you, unfortunately. So, which realms should we be using for this? At this point, no RP realm is considered low population, as even the smaller ones are rated at a medium level according to the login screen. However, there are some that are only connected to one other realm. I'll put a list of the realms on screen that only have one connected realm and are relatively low population. As a heads up with class trials, you can only have 12 total active trials at any given time, and they only have about 2, maybe 3 hours of playtime before they get locked and you either have to upgrade them to a real character or delete them and make another one. You can also only make 4 class trials per hour, and they cannot enter raids either, so you can't farm raid mounts. I personally always make mage class trials, mainly because with their teleports you can save a lot of your precious played time getting to the zones you're trying to reach for rares in. I also start with war mode on, as it seems there's often less people with war mode active, and the other benefit to using war mode is that you can use non-war mode as well to check the same zone multiple times. So essentially you get double the usage out of that same amount of time. You just have to go to a rested area, or teleport back to your capital city and turn war mode off or something, and then you can go back and do it again. If you want to feel less bad about doing this, then you can always just make a Death Knight, since they start at level 55, and level it to 70. When you get it to 70, you then just make a Demon Hunter. And then you can level that pretty quickly out of the starting zone, and you'll be like 103 or 104 if you have heirlooms, and if you do an assault, you'll be like 107, which is still more than enough of a character to do any of this type of content. That way you have a permanent character on that realm instead of having to make class trials over and over, and you'll be able to go in raids, and be able to do world bosses, which is things that class trials can't do, so that's pretty nice. I also didn't want to be the jerk that kills a rare mount spawn after they already have it just to prove that you can do it, so instead I decided to get myself a mount I don't have for my collection yet, the Phaeton Kodo. This rare spawn is in Darkshore, and even though all the enemies there are 120, getting this rare only requires clicking on the Kodo while it's running around afraid, which can be done on a class trial. I ended up having to try on 2 different class trials. I did the war mode, non-war mode swap on my first class trial, then hopped on the second one and didn't even have to swap war modes to get this scaredy cat of a mount. As far as other mounts you can currently get with the trial, they've narrowed down the list quite a bit, but as I've mentioned before, you can easily get a DK up to 55 and then to 70 and then swap to a Demon Hunter, and yeah, that way you always have a character. Mounts you can still earn as of the 8th of June 2020 with Clash Trials include the Reins of the Grey Riding Camel from the Cataclysm version of Uldum. For those who don't remember this mount or never heard of it, this requires clicking on mysterious camel figurines that are scattered all around Uldum, and they have a sizable respawn time, and only have a small chance of taking you to a special encounter where you must fight and kill Dormus, the camel hoarder. I would recommend grabbing TomTom and the coordinates for this one, or just having a map up on another screen. This one took me the longest to get, as even using Clash Trials, it requires getting lucky enough to have the figurine not turn into a pile of dust when you pick it up. Like I mentioned before, War Mode and Non-War Mode have their own phases and their own camel figurine spawns, so you can try to get these back to back in the same zone. The Frightened Kodo from Darkshore. This is probably the newest mount to be included in the list of mounts you can get while farming on a Clash Trial, and simply requires flying around the middle of Darkshore and searching for a friendly Frightened Kodo. When you find it, you simply click on it, and the mount will end up in your bags after a brief moment. There's a pretty sweet macro for this, and I'll try to put it in the description or in a comment down below for you guys. The long-forgotten Hippogriff in Asuna from Legion. This one's a little different, as you need to fly around Asuna and find and click on 5 ephemeral crystals hidden throughout the map. If you're the first person to do it, you'll be given the mount. This is one of the mounts I'd recommend making a DK or a Paladin Clash Trial for, as you get a mounted speed bonus for either of those classes, and you might have other people trying to beat you to it, so every little bit of extra speed you get will help you do this. Lukhawk in Nagrand of Draenor. Apparently, this is the only Draenor world rare you can still loot with a Clash Trial for whatever reason, as when I did this a year or so ago, I was able to get all of them. Lukhawk is a Meadow Stomper that spawns in multiple locations in Nagrand, and should be a breeze to kill on a Clash Trial. The Void Talon of the Dark Star, in every damned zone of Draenor because this mount is such a jerk to get and I still need it. This one has multiple spawn points in basically every zone other than Tanaan Jungle, and the portal is only up for some weird time range, like a minute to up to 13 minutes. If no one finds the portal, then it will respawn in supposedly 2 hours. If someone does manage to get it, it can take as little as 10 hours, or up to almost 2 days. From the folks I've heard talking about it, I guess, I don't know, I've never seen this damned portal. I had a guildie get this thing like the first month of Warlords of Draenor like years ago, and I've never seen it. It's been on the back burner for years, I just don't care. The final mounts include all of the rare mounts that can come from Garrison Invasion bosses. When you complete a Garrison Invasion, you have a chance to receive an item that will let you fight a boss, and they have a chance to drop one of 4 mounts. Because of the time investment needed to get a garrison set up enough to make your own Garrison Invasions, you'd be better off just having someone let you tag along for theirs, as you won't be able to unlock all this in the time that your 2 or 3 hour Clash Trial exists. Basically, any other mount not listed above can no longer be earned by a Clash Trial, because at one point this list did include Zandalari Warbringer mounts and every Warlords of Draenor rare mount. So for your own sanity, do not kill any Pandaria World bosses, or the time-lost Proto-Drake, or Aeonax, or any of those highly coveted mounts, as you will end up pulling your hair out and cursing until your vocal cords rip, because you can't learn it. I'll give you one other little tip though. You can still use a Clash Trial to make farming those particular rares easier in any aspect. Let's say you were looking for a rare Hunter Tame, and you stumble across one of them in Northrend. You can use the group finder system and a little bit of Speedy Boy tricks to bring one of your own characters into a group with your Clash Trial. All you have to do is make sure both characters are in the same zone, start a group on the Clash Trial, name it something you'll be able to find easily and quickly in Group Finder, and immediately Alt F4 out of the game and log into your real character. Request to join that group and Alt F4 immediately so you can accept the invite on your Clash Trial. If you do this quickly and have decent loading time before logging in, you should be able to get into the group with your own character, and by doing this, you can force your main character into a low pop specific phase for the rare you're looking for. As far as I can tell, as long as you stay in the same zone, you should be able to use this phase indefinitely, even if the Clash Trial is offline. As an example, we'll use a Clash Trial to swap one of my characters over to Old Uldum to see if we can find a camel figurine or a rare or just something so I can show you in fact that the phasing of a full character into the same content as your trial is possible. Okay, so I managed to find the rare Armagadillo, and it's up on Argent Dawn, where my Clash Trial is. It's also active on Area 52, where basically all my characters are. I'm gonna kill the one on Area 52 first, and then start a group using my mage on Argent Dawn. Alt F4 is the only way you'll be able to do this fast enough, as you need to be pretty quick on this. So we'll start a custom group with a random name, and then Alt F4 to my desktop. From there, we'll get back on my main, and request to join this group. Once we put the request in, we immediately Alt F4 back out and log into the mage. We will accept the request to join from my rogue, and once again swap over by force closing the game. Now we're back on my rogue, whom is on Area 52, in a group present with my Argent Dawn mage, and will be phased to see Armadillo is alive once again. I'll kill it and loot it, and as you can see, my mage is still logged in for a very brief period of time before he's put offline. Even while he's offline though, as long as we stay in Uldum, I'll be part of an Argent Dawn RP shard. To prove this, I'll log back over to my mage and you'll see my rogue is still here in this group area, even though my mage was offline for a few minutes. Once I leave the group though, I'll be back on Area 52. You'll know I switched phases because the corpse of Armadillo disappears as soon as I leave the group. This concept can be used for a lot of other things, like farming flowers, or mounts, or toy drops, and lots of other goodies. Anyways guys, I hope this enlightens you on some ways you can get around some of the annoying cross-realm, phasing, and sharding issues that plague the game in its current state. And again, I apologize to any RP realm players out there. I really feel that Blizzard needs to cut back on the super aggressive cross-realm systems that are in place, as it would make farming or finding cool and rare things a lot easier for everyone, but I feel like that'll probably never change. If you've used this trick before or since watching this, let me know in the comments what you've managed to accomplish with it. I imagine there's all sorts of nifty tricks you could use this for. If you like this kind of stuff, maybe come check out some of my other videos. I have quite a bit of content on my channel and I'm always adding more. Anyways, that's all for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is the Red Rogue, and I'll see you guys around.